Here are 5 mistakes that you should avoid when using a handheld microphone. I have made most of these mistakes myself on the stand-up comedy stage, so by the end of the video, you will be able to avoid them. My name is Markus Seppälä. I'm a TEDx speaker and stand-up comedian, helping you engage better with your audience. Check out the links below the video for additional resources, including my stand-up comedy class for beginners. A huge microphone mistake is to not use a microphone at all if one is provided. I understand that there are many reasons why you may not want to use a microphone. Maybe you're feeling nervous, you don't know how to use it, or you think that you are loud enough to be heard without one. But the microphone is there for a reason, both for you so that you don't have to yell, but mostly for the audience so that they can hear you clearly. Remember that when you're on stage, your impression of how loudly you can be heard at the back of the room may not be the correct impression. Another reason to always use the microphone, if one is provided, is for the recording, especially in a setup like I use, where I record the microphone separately from the rest of the room. A big mistake that I made in the beginning of my stand-up comedy career was that I was holding the microphone awkwardly. When I got started, I watched a video very similar to this one, and one of the tips I got there was to hold the microphone and then push your thumb against your chin. Now, this may be a good fit for singers or rappers, but for speaking into a microphone, this is not a good idea. It is super awkward to hold your microphone like this. A better way to hold a microphone for speaking is to hold it diagonally in front of you. You can also position the microphone vertically and then hold it lightly against your chin. There are so many better microphone techniques. I actually have a whole video about that. I'm going to link to it at the end of this video. Another mistake that I made early on was to use the wrong hand. I am right-handed, and from somewhere I got the idea that I should hold the microphone in my left hand so that I can gesticulate more naturally with my right hand. This turned out to be a bad idea, and I stopped doing it after a while because it felt super unnatural. When you are on stage, and especially if you have a foreign object like a microphone in your hand, it's so much more important to feel natural and comfortable on stage. So hold the microphone in the hand that feels the best to you. Can you hear me? This is a common mistake that I often see that you should avoid. But I understand where it's coming from. Maybe you are feeling a bit nervous or uncertain about the technology. Do not ask the audience if they can hear you. Instead, make sure to go to the mic check before the show starts. Rely on the producer to adjust the volume as appropriate, and also be certain that if the audience actually cannot hear you, they will let you know. A common mistake when hand-holding a microphone is that you may forget that it's there, and it kind of starts drifting away and gets further and further from your mouth. This will mean that it will be more difficult for your audience to hear you, and it is especially problematic for the recording, where I, as a producer, may have to adjust the levels in post-production. A great technique that works really well here is to hold the microphone against your chin. Then you will not forget to take it with you when you move around. Another thing you can do is to hold your elbow close to your body. This will limit how much you can move your microphone hand. In just a moment, I'm going to share a bonus tip that will help avoid an embarrassing situation on stage. If you've been getting value from the video so far, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you want to take my stand-up comedy class, go to comedyforbeginners.com. And here's that bonus mistake, and it is to accidentally switch off the microphone. This can easily happen if the microphone has an on-off switch and you are inserting it into the mic stand, for example. To avoid this, make sure that during the microphone check, you get comfortable with the controls on the microphone. If you are producing your own show, I recommend always getting a microphone that does not have an on-off switch. I have links to the microphones that I use at my comedy club in the description below the video. To learn more about microphone techniques, click or tap the screen right here. In that video, I cover several different ways of holding a microphone, some good and some bad. My name is Markus Seppälä. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.